Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. As many of you know, I am the owner of Angie's at Your Service Virtual Assistants. And I'm here today to talk to you guys about the 1099 process and subcontracting my business. It's something that you may see me post about or write articles about here and there when I'm talking about the business. But I've realized that it really is something that seems to be a confusing part when people are subcontracting their services to me. So in honor of Women's History Month for the month of March, I decided to partner with a local business and another woman in business to talk about this topic. So today I have with me Julie Stroline from Alloy Silverstein, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself and the business and what they do. Julie?
Thank you. Yes, Alloy Silverstein is an accounting firm based in Cherry Hill, but now in the virtual world, we have clients all over the world, to be honest. And we provide full service accounting and tax compliance is part of that, but we also have business advisory services and bookkeeping and back office CFO and things of that nature as well. So we have a payroll company, so lots of parts to help people with what they need to run their businesses.
Nice, nice. And how long have you been with the company?
This time I've been here since, 2006. But it also was my very first job out of college. I was an intern and then full-time. And then, and then I did some other things for a while, and I've been back since 2006.
Nice, nice, nice. So this is your industry, you're very familiar with, the ins and outs of accounting and things like that. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, no, our firm's been around for over 60 years and we've had a lot of clients that we've had for decades. And so we have familiarity with some people, and then we get all kinds of exciting brand new stuff all the time. And the laws change, so it's always different.
Right. That's the thing, I always feel bad for the accountants because the laws change so much, and I don't even know how everybody keeps up with everything in that industry because it seems like, it's ever changing, always evolving. So hats off to the accountants in the world because, you really are a big piece of business, and helping us being able to manage that financial piece of our business and make those decisions. So thank you so very much for your service in the industry.
Well, you're welcome. And, it is a lot of work to keep up with the new stuff, which is a nice thing about being a firm our size, is because it's not like one person has to learn all the new rules. So we have committees and we have, experts, and we have, okay, so-and-so's really good at this section and so-and-so knows a lot about that section. And so the collaboration that we have, because we're not a real small shop, is helpful.
Nice. So I know you've written a few articles about 1099s and employees versus contractors and things like that. So I'm assuming your area of expertise would be 1099s of, I'm sure, other areas as well.
Well, I like rules. I am an accountant, so and there's lots of rules. So yes, I have written about this and spoken about this from time to time, like you said, because it is a somewhat confusing thing. And I think the mistake that a lot of people make is they think they're going to decide, well, I'll just pay you as an independent contractor, and you agree and you think that's good enough. But it's not simply a mutual agreement.
Right. So tell us more about 1099 versus W-2 and your expertise in the industry.
It's really a facts and circumstances test. So why would people prefer to pay someone as a 1099? Because it's easy. You write them a check. At the end of the year, you put on the 1099 form how much you paid them. So it's easy. So why can't we all do that? Well, the government doesn't like it, because guess what we're not paying when we have a 1099 contractor? It's not wages, so we're not withholding taxes. We're not paying into the state disability and unemployment funds. And so the government doesn't like it when we have independent contractors that aren't really independent contractors. And so that's why they crack down on this a lot. And so, as you know, having employees means you have to file payroll returns, and you have to withhold taxes and send them W-2s at the end. There's other things that have nothing to do with the pay, right? Maybe if you have enough of them employees, then you're subject to mandated health care. You have to provide health care. Maybe there's rules about fringe benefits. It might, change your workers' comp insurance. Like, it can affect a lot of things other than just the dollars that you're spending. So that's the people's reason for wanting to be 1099s, but it really has to truly be an independent contractor situation. And that's a very facts and circumstances based test. And there's no magic one thing that tips the scale either way. And in an audit, they would look at really the whole situation.
Gotcha. And have you ever come across any instances where people were just really struggling to understand and wanting to take advantage of the fact that, you know, they want to be able to pay their people as 1099s? I've even come across a few individuals where, you know, they told me, oh, you know, well, I just pay everybody as a 1099. And I'm like, but those people are your employees.
Right. And how do you know? It's all about control, right? So if the payer, so the company, is directing the work, then you're an employee. So if they tell you where to show up or what time to show up or what exact tasks you're going to accomplish that day, and you do it on their software and you use their equipment or you drive their truck, okay, they're controlling how you do your work. If you're repairing something and you're using the employer's tools or the employer's machinery, okay, these are all employee indicators. If you're truly an independent contractor, like if we hired Angie's at your service, I want a brochure for my big shindig. Okay. I want a really good looking brochure. I don't care if Susie works on it or Joni works on it. I don't care if you do it on Tuesday night, in the middle of the night. I don't care if you do it on Friday. I want it by the due date. I don't care what software you use because you're using your own. I don't care how long it took you. Okay. We agreed on a price. So all I get to direct is the end product, not anything in between. And so whether you have a team of 6 working on the same brochure or one per, that's for you to decide. Mm-hmm. I only get to say what I want the product to be at the end. That's an independent contractor situation.
Yes, yes. And, you know, that's the type of service that we offer to our clients. You know, but sometimes it really is difficult for them to understand, you know, and sometimes when it comes to the beginning of the year, you know, I'll send them out an email saying, you know, you did X amount of business with us last year, you know, make sure that you send out the 1099. And a lot of times their own accountants will say, you know, well, you don't have to send a 1099. You know, which baffles me a little bit because, you know, I have to report the wages. So I'm going to pay taxes on the wages. You're not reporting the wages, so you're not writing them off. So that's more money that you're paying taxes on. And I just feel like somebody's getting the short end of the stick and somebody's benefiting off of that. And it's the government because they get to get taxed twice, so to speak.
That's assuming that the person who fails to issue the 1099 isn't deducting the expense anyway, because probably that's what's happening. You're not supposed to deduct. You're not supposed to deduct the expense if you didn't send the 1099, which substantiates it. But in practice, they're probably just not sending the forms. So anybody who performs services for you, and you pay them more than $600 a year, and it's been that threshold for a long time, you need to issue a 1099. Now, if you willfully don't file, that's where stuff can get really expensive. If you get audited, and you didn't do it, then that's where your penalties can become very expensive. And there's a question on the tax return, whether you file a Schedule C or a partnership or an S Corp return, were you required to file 1099s?
Yes.
And it's a yes, no box. And the next question says, did you?
Right.
So it's 2 questions, and you know, leaving it blank isn't really correct, right? So, and I'm sure if you said, yes, I was required, and did you? No, I imagine the computer would figure that out and spit out a notice. But, you know, it's an important thing.
Yeah. Good. All very good information. It's definitely something that I wanted to make sure that I clarified because, you know, like I said, it's a confusing thing for my clients, you know, but also, you know, when I tell people, you know, you spend X amount of dollars with me throughout the year, you know, and you get to write off 100% of that, you know, so it's almost like getting free help, so to speak, you know, but I think it sounds more like a sales pitch to me, coming from me versus coming from someone who's an accountant who can really explain how that goes.
Yeah, and every situation really could be different. So I have a client who is a doctor, and he hired someone to come in once a week and type up his medical notes into his software. You know, he preferred to take it longhand and she to type it up. I think the amount that he paid was very little. She was there, I don't know, a couple hours. I think it was $50 a week. Like, it wasn't a lot of money. The state of New Jersey, the Department of Labor, audited my client and looked at it and said, is this an employee? And he said, well, no, she only comes in once a week and she does this for, like, I don't know, 10 other doctors that aren't related to me. And he said, then she has 10 employers. She comes in, you hand her the charts, you tell her how you want it transcribed, and she puts it into your software. She has 10 employers. Now, turned out he didn't charge us because the wages were so small. It would have been like $8 on unemployment, and but that's just because you do what you do for more than one person. That alone doesn't make you an independent.
Right. Good. Okay, so I feel as though we've thoroughly touched on the topic. Hopefully that has definitely brought some understanding to the 1099 versus W-2. Thank you again for taking the time to speak on this topic with me. If you want to give some information on how people can contact your firm, any type of services that they can obtain during tax season, go ahead.
Yes, so alloysilverstein.com. And, we have links in there. We have useful resources. There's tools in there, calculators. If you don't think you have enough withholding on your paycheck, there's all kinds of stuff that you could get in there and poke around. And of course, lots of articles about not just tax things, but business things, finance things.
Nice. Thank you again, Julie.